everyone. Good morning on Friday, which is, I guess you can say day 3 for me if we're not including Tuesday of travel, but day 1 officially of competition start. So as you can see, we're still in the hotel room. I'm just going to throw my shoes on now, head down for breakfast, and then the goal is to get to the venue at about 6:45, with fencers being allowed in at 7 so that we have time to turn on the scoring machines, set up our test boxes, and be ready for the rest of people to show up that were not able to get their stuff checked yesterday.
All right, everyone, we're here. It's just about 6:45, and as I'm walking over, I'm coming and turning on all the machines. So the handy part is I just flip the one switch on the power bar on one end of the pod, and all of a sudden all 4 machines are on. So it makes life a little bit easier rather than us having to go each individually to the machines. But it is a fair bit of a walk as we walk all the way up and down everything to get it all turned on. So I'm gonna keep going, get the rest of that done, and head to the armory to get ready to start checking more equipment. So, I really hope you enjoyed the sprinting over to the armory as soon as the doors are allowed open. That's pretty usual for 7 a.m. on the first morning. Okay, everyone, it is just about 8:45 now, and we've been through a lot. It was men's saber and women's épée this morning, both of which are large groups. Luckily, épée stuff clears pretty quickly, but saber, those lamés take a little while to check. So the line was quite long. It threaded through our little back and forth lineup tagger thingies, and then down across the room. There was a little bit of consternation going on, understandably, but we made it through. The line is now cleared, and yeah. So we are going to keep checking people one off as they come through. I believe the next close is 11, so expecting another wave before then. But hopefully, again, as usual, more people kind of just cycle through during the day, and we will have less in the way of rushes further on through the weekend. So we have these little coffee cups to collect your tags, and yeah, 2 check-ins, and mine's already full. So we're gonna go dump it and re-put it on front of my table. It is 9:15 or so, and we already have our first issue. So, as you can see, we have 4 armorers. I'm just being nosy over here, trying to figure out what's going on because the piece for saber will not stop going off with white lights. So we're trying to figure out if it's something in the machine, if it's something, because at this point it's a solid white light. Unlike Sabre where it flickers white light, which is okay, not great, but okay, they can still fence with it. But a solid white that never turns off, that's indicating probably something inside the machine, which is harder to deal with. All right, everyone, it is just about 1:30 or so now. I've just got back into the venue for after lunch, so things so far have been going pretty smoothly. There's been a few strip calls as we expected, a couple reels that need to be swapped out, brake issue kind of thing. Nothing, knock on wood, too bad yet. So everything, again, well within expectations. We have cleared yet another pretty big group. There was a close at 1 o'clock, so we cleared all of that out. I can't remember the schedule off the top of my head right now. Big yell. We might have one more checklet or big close later on. We'll see. But yeah, so far things are going pretty okay for day number 1 of competition. So fingers crossed it continues to go that way. All right, everyone, if you remember from my Louisville vlog, there was one panel piece that didn't want to cooperate. This is that piece. So what we're doing right now is just realigning that groove. He's got a fine file in there, as you can see he's working on, and that was what he was working on in the clip right beforehand, just to open that back up. And they're just making sure we've got our test pieces out to make sure it actually goes back together properly now. And with that, my day is done. So as usual with these big events and the big crews, the head tech will split up the armorers so that half of us leave early one day and the rest will leave early on another day, just to kind of keep us a little bit fresher and keep energy levels up a bit more. So today is my day to leave early. So it is just about 5 o'clock right now. I'm kind of wandering around the venue, seeing a little bit what's going on, saying hi to some people. But otherwise, I am going to head back to the hotel, have a nice quiet evening, sort of catch up on a little bit of work that I've been ignoring. And yeah, and then I'll be fresh and ready to go for tomorrow. Alrighty, good morning everyone. It is another fine morning in a currently empty room. As you can see, myself and the other armorers are walking up and down each row, turning on the pods as we make our way over to the armory. And for context, at this point, we are pretty consistently waking up 5:30-ish. Breakfast is at 6. The hotel's about a 10-minute walk away, so we walk over sort of 6:30-ish, and yeah, do this as we go over to the armory before we get our station set up and get ready for whatever morning rush we should expect. We'll see what we actually get this morning. I don't know what events are scheduled, but we checked a lot of people yesterday, and many people explicitly said they were doing so that they did not have to do it this morning. So hopefully there was a lot of those. Alright everyone, so as you can see, the table is rather bare right now. This is because we put all of our stuff away each evening just as a safety thing. So I've already grabbed our tape machine and our stamp, so I'm going to show you just kind of how I reset up my station. Come on back. So for security purposes, we put all of the big fancy equipment back here, as well as, of course, anything that is official. Now I'm just going to grab my box with the ducks and the sloth, because of course we need those with me at all times.
Yeah, I'm not dropping up all my stuff down.
And I'm just going to put it back into place and get my probe back plugged in as it needs to be. I do leave my lame piece here. This I don't really bother to remove, and I don't feel like retaping it every time. It's just the quick thing that we do each and every morning after we have finished turning on all of the machines.
so that once the referees and the fencers get here, everything is ready for them. Hi everyone, so it is actually just past 8 o'clock now and we are clear of the line. Lovely nobody here. So clearly it worked out that a lot of people got their stuff checked yesterday, so while we did have a fair line, you just saw that in the time lapse earlier, it was not nearly the same stretching all the way across the room that it was yesterday. So we're going to hang out again, same as always. We will be here to check either new stuff people bring us or people for events that are still not started yet. And in the meantime, I'm going to work on a video list. Oop, and get photobombs. Say hi to another one of our armorers.
Oh goody, I've got my little pry bar in case the rev gets up.
Alright everyone. First real strip call of the day. We had a couple remote batteries die, but those don't really count. But we have a LeMay that is apparently not registering anything. So I and my friend Seth here are heading over there to see what we can find. My guess is it's the body cord. Let me know in the comments if you think that's right or what you expect it to be. So in case you didn't hear that, testing on the LeMay is a white light. Testing on the clip of the body cord is a colored light.
So did this find on the body cord? It did test on the body cord. Most likely something over here. So maybe test it.
Okay everyone, so just for clarity on that last one, so all that Seth did was he moved where the body clip was attaching to the LeMay. Sometimes there's a very tiny dead spot that you get just where the LeMay attaches. Sometimes it's just kind of a freak one. The body cord doesn't like that particular area even though it checks just fine. But he just kind of shifted it over a couple of inches and that is what caused it to start working again. So there's just a tip for you. If everything seems to be working, just kind of shift it off the area that it's on the LeMay. Sometimes the bite just doesn't work and you need to redo it. Just put A right here. There you go. No problem. Usually the bag. So today has now been a really good day. I got to pet a Chihuahua puppy on the way over this morning. I got to pet a bunny that you just saw. And I just got to pet a French Bulldog. So I am in a very good mood right now. There have been all sorts of cuddly friend encounters today, which isn't really quite normal, and I will happily take this.
And here is pretty much the most common issue that we see on a normal day of tournaments, where something happens, a fencer hits it, a ref trips over it, something goes wrong, that the grounding wire is ripped
from underneath the piece and just needs to be replaced. So as you saw at the beginning, the end of this one was pulled off, so we're just switching it out for a different one and taping it down before taking the other one back to the armory for repair.
Alright, so we are back in the armory now, and we have a bunch of these grounding cords that are no longer useful.
Yes, please, thank you.
Ooh.
That's from the missus.
And cookies.
Okay.
So basically what we're doing is the wires are still fine, they're one piece, and the plug is there. So Karen over here is re-stripping the ends of the wires so that we have contact with it again. And I am grabbing random scraps of the copper rat mesh to attach to it so that we just put these all back together. They're not hard to make, they just break kind of easily, but they're easy to fix. So everyone, as a quick demonstration, here is my end. You can see I've got my copper, I've split it into 2 halves, and I have my bit of rat mesh. So all I'm going to do now is just put the rat mesh in this little Y, twist these together nice and tightly, and then for some extra grip, I'm just going to take my pliers to really make sure that this is attached firmly. So as you can see now, that's not moving anywhere. And that's it. So now I'm just going to wrap this up. We can put this back in the box and it'll be ready to go to the next piece. Well, that was an interesting about 5 to 10 minutes because we had no fewer than 3 strip calls all come in very rapid order. So, and all of them at different places. So a couple ground cords that were broken, just like end was snapped off, and a remote without batteries. So nothing horrible to fix, just kind of funny that after a relatively quiet day, all of a sudden, boom, 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 3 came in all at once. All right, everyone, so we just had this reel come back to us, and the brake is engaging too early. So we're going to test it out. Also, that is maybe 3 meters, 3 yards out, if that.
Hey, Al?
So, I think we see another problem here. You figure it's an override? All right.
We're going to open it up.
So everyone, as you just heard, we are going to take the top off of this one and see what secrets it might be holding. Again?
What?
Well, that was a huge chunk of lint that just fell out. Yeah, that's an override right there.
Sure he is.
So you can see right there, everyone, there is a pretty large override going on.
Along with dust bunnies.
And yes, dust bunnies galore. We had regular bunny earlier, which was adorable. This, not so much.
Did you take pictures of the bunny?
I did, and video. So as you can see, Seth here is just trying to work back along the wire to find where the override actually happened. Because if we can get beyond that, as you see, look at that, it's going quite nicely now.
You must report immediately to Lima 4, L4.
Alright, so once we have this cleared, we're going to test it again just to see if that fixed all of the issues or if there are still other issues with it, the brake engaging too soon on this one. No thank you. All right, so apparently this poor reel has been through a fair bit. So, Seth, you want to explain what you're looking at right now?
I'm looking at a streak of abrasion that does not make sense.
Why not?
Good question. Because this is the brake line here. That's the outer reel. So that's where the brake rubs, but that thing's real interesting.
So for anyone who hasn't seen the inside, this is actually what the brake looks like. And when it spins really quickly, this flips up, and I can't get a finger at it, and this pad is what presses against the top of the reel cover. So obviously this isn't going to do anything right now. It has nothing to press against, but it does when there's a lid on this.
So here I'm just taking off the brake material, which will give space for the tape to hold onto. There goes the dust bunny. And all we're going to do is this washer is going to prevent the brake from going up past a certain point.
So once again, we're just going to put the lid on. Notice we don't actually have to put all of the screws back in every time and can save ourselves that few minutes of actual effort. So we're going to see if that solved the problem now.
Junior Mid-Sunday Fencer Iara Fencer Iara is reported immediately to Echo 2, E2 immediately.
It really is not close. It's
Really good, huh?
oh yeah. Usually works. It usually does. You may need a second washer. Yeah. The interesting thing is, what's that?
Flip it over.
Oh
Where's
my
that boot
goodness.
print? Okay, so it is on the opposite side of the giant boot print.
Yeah. Oh, that's like that. This has been flying. Cool. Now you have to go for that second washer. Better now. Yeah. That's okay.
towards that. Okay. Good.
All right, so after several iterations, we finally found the sweet spot of that little washer. So now that's all that's left is to put it back together. All right, everyone. As you can see and probably hear behind me, we are getting closer to the end of the day. It is about 6 o'clock now. I am sticking around until the end of the day today since I got released early yesterday. So yeah, there's not a whole lot left going on. There's a bit of epee kind of over there. Saber and foil finals are wrapping up over there. So we'll keep hanging out here. If there's anything to respond to, we'll go out to the strips. If there's anybody that pops in, again for tomorrow's checks, we'll keep doing that. But otherwise, I'm not expecting too much right now. Knock on wood, I probably just jinxed us. But yeah, we are definitely at end of day right now. We're wrapping up. So we'll just keep hanging out and seeing what else comes our way. All right, 6:30, we are done with fencing on this half of the gym. So basically everything that's still going on is over with the semis and the finals piece. So doing the opposite of what we did in the morning, we are just coming by, finding the switch. And now this pod is all turned off. All right, everyone, good morning and welcome to day 3 of competition, day 5 for us armorers. You know the drill by now. We are in the venue about 15 minutes early. We are turning on all the machines at the pods. Then we're going to go to the armory to get set up for the rush. As you can see, things are going really smoothly today. There's not a whole lot of lineup, and fencers seem to be happily fencing. So we are taking the opportunity. Right here, we've got a couple people that a reel has come back. What was the issue on this one?
The referee was correct.
Oh, that is correct. Okay. So while we have a bit of quiet back here, Karen and Seth over here are going to fix this. And then over in this corner here, again, in preparation for loadout tomorrow, we've got a couple people going through our bins just to make sure that everything is well organized and we know exactly how many and where of everything is that we have. So just as a close-up of how bad this is, that's... It's not supposed to look like that. Welcome back. It is after lunchtime. It is just about 1:15 or so. We just had a very small rush of sabers that are getting ready. But yeah, other than that, things are going pretty smoothly. I did have this one reel that I need to replace. As you can see, the clip has come off because one of these screws fell out right there. So all I need to do is just pop that back in and this will be ready to go again. And once again, good morning, everybody. I'm sorry I forgot to do a bit of an outro for yesterday, but hey, we're here again. It was pretty quiet from all that I heard. There wasn't really a whole lot coming in on strip call. And yeah, I was released a little bit early, so I just kind of went back to the hotel to back up all the various photos and videos I've been taking for this. So you're all very familiar with the drill by now. We are in the venue early, turning on all the machines, making it so that they don't scream at us, because that's just a little annoying, especially first thing in the morning. Oh, here we go. Remember your stuff. Hopefully whoever that belongs to comes back and gets that. But yeah, I'm going to finish making my way to the armory, turning on machines as I go, and then we will get ready for our final day of competition and then teardown this afternoon. Alright everyone, this is going to be a bit of a fun one. We got a strip call that a fencer's épée guard is potentially not passing. So what we need to do, as you can see, is we bring over our fancy dancy tube and other gauge to check that the grip length as well as the angle are all within spec. So for this, all we need to do is make sure the blade is completely vertical, and if it passes through this tube without resistance, it is okay. Since this is not doing that, this fails. So his second one is okay, but his first one was not. Well, one of our tagging machines broke, so we're fixing it. I just responded to a strip call where it was a broken ground cord. Normally, that is at this end, because a fencer trips over it, something, it just kicks off. This one, the plug itself was ripped off, and now we're realizing that's because the actual end of it has been snapped off. We just need to go find a new pin. All right, let's get that one done. So we have a call for a remote that's not working. So we're just going to swap it out and bring the other one back. It's probably just the batteries are a little dead, so the signal's not very strong, but we'll check it out when we get home.